the screw college route, the Aaron Pico. Should they just do that? I don't think they will.
Not right now. Not in an NIL era, right?
Good point. True.
Yeah. Because
That's when you're going to make your most money.
that's what the other thing I was thinking is this feels like this era of like Bo, Anthony Knox, Jax Forrest, and Marcus Blaze, like it feels like Spencer, Dayton, Yanni, but with the added aspect of NIL. It's like, could these be the first guys that like really make real, like significant, like money, like through NIL, committing out of high school?
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at a guy like Bo Bassett who already has
NIL.
an insane. Yeah, he already has NIL, and he has an insane following, social media following.
Dude, I was at
already.
PA State Championships filming with Bo, and like in between him watching his teammates' matches, middle schoolers were coming up to him and asking him for pictures. Like sometimes other high schoolers ask him for pictures.
Yeah, he's already a superstar. How are you gonna do that if you're already another high schooler? I guess if you're in a different weight, it's okay.
Yeah, I think they're like maybe younger high schoolers usually, but yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, these high schoolers are more known than, like, in terms of just name recognition, than probably 90% of the NCAA field. Bo Bassett, probably not Jax. He's probably not as well known. But what is it about Bo that is so captivating to people?
I think he just posts a lot. I mean, not just that. Obviously,
it has to be something else.
Obviously, he like wins a lot of matches, and if you watch him wrestle, the dude just doesn't stop. It is
machine gun mindset.
Yeah, his machine gun mindset is crazy. I think he also is very intentional with his, like, he has like a content plan, you know. Like, I was with him, and he was
a superstar before this too.
Yeah.
I feel like the social media kind of came. I mean, it helps, but I feel like that came out of him kind of being a superstar. Because remember, like, middle school, like, people were already like, this kid, you know, when other middle schoolers had more accolades. I feel like,
I don't know. Part of it probably has to do with the club he wrestles for, or this or that, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the Young Guns are one of the biggest clubs in the country. That's the club he kind of grew up with, I think. And there was like that Spencer Lee kind of.
Yeah. It was put on him like thing. Really early.
Right,
yeah.
Because of the similarities of everything. And then you get into the whole Bishop McCourt thing and the whole they're not allowed to wrestle. I think that actually boosted his
5 a.m. workout. It's everything. It's
the 5 a.m. workouts.
The whole thing. It's like, and then he wins, but then he'll lose on a big stage, and then come back and win. You know, it's the whole thing. It's the whole the whole package, right?
He always puts himself out there.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, he's gonna be the most popular guy in college wrestling.
Yeah,
for sure. He's the next big one for sure.
He's probably the most high profile high school wrestler ever.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, probably in terms of sheer not lore.
Lore.
Well, because I'm saying like you get guys like Chance Marsteller, Gary Colat, but like now with social media and access, like you used to not be able to watch those guys wrestle unless you literally showed up to this tournament. So it just used to be word of mouth. Hey, there's this undefeated 4-timer in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Beating the crap out of everybody. He's a freak. He's going to be a 4-time NCAA champ. And now we kind of like actually get to see them. But I feel like more people, you know, now nationwide, it can be known other than just hardcore wrestling circles. Like, hey, there's this crazy 4-time Pennsylvania state champ. He's the number 1 overall. He's the best recruit of all time. Now, so we know, like, okay, Bo's like obviously an insane recruit. He's not going to be probably number 1 overall in his class, though. He might be.
I think he might be number 2 right now.
Yeah, but I'm saying he's not like head and shoulders above the other guys in his class. So the lore is bigger with guys who have come before, but because of everything we said, he's going to be the most popular.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I'm
known.
saying. Like most popular, not necessarily like he's number 2 behind Jax Forrest
Of course.
Yeah.
in his class. Yeah, I think he's also going to be one of those guys who people like the same amount of people who love to watch him are going to hate. Like there's going to be that same amount of people who hate
Depends on where he goes to college.
You're already
Yeah,
you're already seeing it though. Like
Yeah.
when we post
Really?
videos of him.
I feel like Bo's not that hated.
Yeah.
It's equal. It's like
It is? It's
split,
equal?
I feel like. I don't know about equal.
Well, people are already giving a hard time about like how that he was held back.
Oh,
year
the whole
and,
age
like,
thing.
that-
Like
how old is he?
We post about him, and then they're like, "Who's that kid that beat him, and who's number 1?"
Oh, yeah, Cepeda.
Zepeda. They're like Zepeda's son, like stuff like you know what I mean, like stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean that's just gonna come with success. Like,
Yeah,
there's always gonna be.
that like I remember one of the first people I covered, like my first event at FloWrestling was like the 2022 U.S. Open, and I followed Jesse Mendez through the U.S. He wrestled at the senior level. He was still in high school. And every time we posted about him, everyone was like, Swiderski's son. Like,
Yeah.
that's just what.
Well, that's just social media for you. But I feel like everybody who I actually talked to about Bo, like, is like,
Oh, for sure. And that's
into it.
wrestling
or
in
just
general,
at least
though.
curious. Like,
Mhm.
so how good is he gonna be? How
It's
good is he
rare-
actually
yeah.
gonna be?
It's rare that you run into a hater in real life. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, they're all online.
For sure. Yeah. What? So, look, being the most popular high school wrestler of all time, what expectations come with that?
I mean, I think it's clear. It's like NCAA champ right away.
Yeah.
Like that's what it is.
I feel like knowledgeable people aren't going to have that expectation. No.
Really? After
You know,
seeing
he
him,
just beat International.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's probably going to be. What weight do you think he's going to
Still
go?
got
in
two.
at?
I get. He still has
2 years in high school.
He'll go in at
2 years of high school.
49.
So okay, I need 2 more years of high school.
Mhm.
I'm thinking like if you throw him into the college field right now, like
I
Come on,
be
son.
my expectation, but
Do you think? All right, maybe little sidetrack. Do you think it's better for his popularity if he stays in high school for 2 more years, or if he reclassifies and enters college? Like, do you think that would be
after
like,
1 more year?
would that make more like news? Would people be more interested, or just like let it build?
I kind of feel like it can't build much more.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's like do another year of high school, maybe go win a junior world title or a junior world medal,
Mhm.
win another PA state title. It's not like he can be a 4-timer.
Right.
So,
Yeah, he
like-
missed his first year already.
So it might be then just parlay that right into like
Yeah.
going into reclassifying and going into college.
Yeah, that would be incredible. Because that would make it even bigger to where you're like, oh man, you have this kid who's otherworldly, so popular, and then,
Well, then
like,
the real
he's
thing would
going to
be-
college early now.
Yeah, if he went to college early and then he proves all the age elitists like
Mhm.
wrong, and then if he comes out and like says something like that,
Yeah.
like this was for all the people that ragged on my age, and then he went and then he actually won an NCAA title as like a true freshman.
Yeah.
After reclassifying, that would add to the insane
Mhm.
lore and popularity.
I love the word lore.
Lore.
JD's word of the day.
Are we going till 10 or
We can go however
been an
long we
hour.
want.
okay?
I'm kind of liking the Bo Bassett talk.
I know
Can't-
it is
can't-
fun to talk about him.
How much more popular will he get in college?
Depends what school he goes to.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I think it's Iowa or Penn State for him.
Which is better in terms of popularity, Iowa or Penn State?
Michigan.
Penn State's obviously the best team. I still think you can become a beggar megastar at Iowa.
Mhm.
I do too.
It's not by a lot, and maybe you could say, okay, but you're going to become the best wrestler at Penn State. So long-term plan that will grow you the most.
Right.
The brand. But in terms of sheer eyeballs on you, talked conversations about you, there's still no place like Iowa.
Well, also just an environment that feeds into the hype, you know? Like, I think Penn State, a part of their success probably is how, like, low the guys stay, like, about, you know what I mean? Like, they don't pump themselves up too much. Where
Carter Sriracha, come on, son.
Well, Carter's, yeah, there's Carter for sure. But like, I mean, I feel like at Iowa, like the Brands brothers will do that with you, you know, like they'll help pump you up. Whereas like at Penn State, it's less of that. Carter's kind of an outlier at Penn State.
Carter said he was gonna piss on a dude's grave right before NCAA finals.
Yeah.
If that's not,
That's fair.
but to my point, I think if an Iowa guy said that, everyone's like,
Yeah, it would go through the
it's a bigger deal. That kind of,
Yeah.
I don't want to say flew under the radar. Like we talked about it a lot.
A lot of people just brushed it off as like regular Strachey stuff.
Yeah, that's what I feel like it gets brushed off as Carter stuff.
Mhm.
But if an Iowa guy does it, it becomes more the brand.
Yeah.
Someone in the Facebook chat said he also said he'll punch the Maryland coach LeMayo.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Now, would it be better? I feel like Bo can't go heel. It's not in his
No.
like. It would be fake. Like Bo's such a nice kid. Like he's not gonna really talk smack.
Yeah.
He's always very respectful.
Yeah.
So he's different in like Carter Sriracha in that way. Would you become a bigger megastar if you went heel at Iowa versus Spencer Lee, respectful of your opponent?
I don't think he ever goes heel.
That's what I'm saying he can't, but I'm saying which makes you a bigger megastar.
I think you go heel at Iowa, it definitely makes you a bigger star.
Gets you talked about more, but Spencer Lee.
It's also hard to be a star at Penn State where like
There's so many stars.
yeah, it's so easy to fade into the
Yeah.
Like think
You're
Nick
just
Lee,
another 3-timer.
Nick Lee was a 2-time national champ, and like you look at all the other guys that were on a team with him, and you talk about a significant amount of them before you start talking about Nick Lee. But like he was insane, you know. So like there's a lot of Penn State wrestlers that are like that. So I mean, even like Zane Rutherford was getting overshadowed by like Bo Nickel, you know, and Zane Rutherford is one of the most dominant college wrestlers of all time. Yeah, and Jason Nolf. Like it's kind of nuts.
The difference, I think, is Bo's style. Look how much we talk about Mitchell Messenbrink, and he was just, I'm saying that, I'm doing air quotes if you're just listening, a finalist. He didn't even win.
Yeah.
But how much more did we talk about Mitchell than maybe some of the, I mean, they had 2 4-timers on their team this year, who we talked about a lot. But we talked about Mitchell Messenbrink a lot, too, because of how he wrestles.
Yeah. Yeah. His
Also because of his weight class.
That's true. And there was Keegan and David.
Carr.
and he's a
But we talk
freshman.
about it because they're so fun because of how he wrestles.
Yeah.
And I think we will get some of that with Bo.
Mhm.
That's why it's stuff like that we took, like, we talked, maybe like Aaron and Carter aren't held in quite the same vein as your David Taylors, your Bo Nichols. They have another title than them, but they weren't as dominant. They didn't, tech and pin guys at an insane rate like your Taylor, Nickel, Rutherford, Nolfs.
I think the reason I think that Iowa is the school that makes a bigger star is we just see it ourselves, like with numbers for like the Spencer Lee effect on things, or even the DeSanto effect on things is much higher than like an Aaron Brooks, who's a 4-timer effect on things, or even a Carter Sriracha is probably the most outspoken Penn State wrestler. And like the numbers really don't, like when we post a Carter Sriracha match, it's nothing really compared to when we post a Spencer Lee match. So
That's why
I don't know.
Iowa's God's country.
I think Iowa fans are like just more crazed and love it when they. And there's also,
look at
I think it comes back to like just having a star. Like Spencer Lee was Iowa's, like, I don't want to say only star, but like he was like the star of the show, you know. Whereas you have to share the stage a lot at Penn State. I know I kind of already said that, but
yeah, no, for sure. But I mean, look at the crazy environment like Carver produces versus Penn State, like, you know, your Bryce Jordan Center, like it gets back to, you know, maybe same number of fans, but the level of passion from Iowa fans is unmatched.
Yeah. I think you see if Angelo Ferrari goes on to win national titles, I think you see him like
He could obviously go heel.
Yeah.
And I think he
will go
right
heel.
into it. He will go heel.
He's already gone heel, kind of.
He has.
And I think you see him blow up at Iowa.
Remember when he won Ironman and put on his Instagram story F Blair and flexed on the Blair coaches? I need that to happen at Iowa. Like, him flexing on like Tom Ryan in the corner.
Oh my God.
And Instagramming F Tom Ryan. Speaking of which, he'll be on the show Thursday.
Tom Ryan will be on the show.
Yeah, it's
not
Tom,
Angelo.
Not Angelo. Tom Ryan. No, will be on the show Thursday to talk about transfers and NIL and stuff. So that'll be fun. It's a tease. That's what we in the business call a tease.